Morning, everybody. Andy here again. Day 43. Yeah, and Tim, thanks for your comment from over there in North Carolina. So it doesn't know I'm keeping going. Yeah, but it's become a habit, actually. It's one of those things, and I didn't intend, as I said, didn't expect to be doing it for this long, because although we were worried about the lockdown and everything, which I'll talk about in a minute, you didn't know how long it's going to last and how long you keep these up. I noticed that other people who were making videos on YouTube aren't making quite as many. It's just me holding the fort, but I'm quite happy to do that for the moment. The daily figures yesterday went back up again. Daily deaths yesterday reported 693, which makes the total now 29,427, and now we are officially the country in Europe with the highest death rate. But there's quite a bit of controversy, quite a bit of debate, should we say, about how these figures are calculated, which I've said quite a lot. We've changed the way that we calculate them, so they now include other things that they didn't before, and then you've got to take into account how other countries calculate their figures, although I think we're pretty much in line with them by all accounts. And then there's all this debate, obviously, because it's not a good position to be in, is it? It's not exactly one that you sort of raise the flags for, that you've had more deaths in your country than anyone else apart from the United States of America, which has got a population of about 5 or 6 times greater than yours. But it's not easy, I understand that. And ultimately, I say it doesn't matter how many deaths. The fact that we've had 29,000 or 32,000, whichever particular figure you want to believe, and we're not at the end yet. One is too many, and one possibly was avoidable. I don't know, but that's a debate for later. As I said, these people who are making these decisions and have put us in the position where we are now will be judged by history. So there you go. But talking about the lockdown, I'm sure that's a topic we'll come back to as well, no doubt. But the lockdown, once again, our lockdown technically ends tomorrow, Thursday. But once again, we haven't heard anything. I mean, yes, all the strong indications are that the lockdown will continue. Well, possibly, I don't know, but I'm expecting there to be another 3-week delay, if you want to put it that, another 3-week chunk, which will take us up to sort of the end of May, which is where I was expecting it to be in the first place. But once again, we still don't know. I mean, I have heard actually said that apparently there was a figure that was said somewhere that this lockdown is in place by law or whatever, or on the statute books or whatever, so it could be a law until September, and we're just having a 3-week review period. But I don't know that. No one's actually said that I've seen anywhere, so maybe someone knows and can correct me one way or the other. But once again, it's that uncertainty, because technically, Friday is a bank holiday here in the UK. Okay, not a lot of banks probably wouldn't be open anyway, but lots of people aren't at work. There's going to be a lot of people about, but it's a bank holiday weekend. If we haven't been told by then that we've got another 3 weeks or another month or whatever it might be, then technically we could all go out, we could all open our shops and then all just go off and do what we want, walking around the countryside, drive off to the seaside, or like some people did the other day, drove 200 miles on their motorbikes to get fish and chips. That's a bit extreme, but once again, we need the guidance. We need to be told, we are adults, as I said the other day about the figures and everything like that. We're expecting it to carry on. I know nobody wants it to carry on, but I feel that it needs to carry on. I mean, I'm of the opinion that we should have done this more drastically in the first place. I may be not necessarily alone, and that might not be in the majority, but I feel if we'd have done it properly, the lockdown, instead of having this, as I've said the other day, people driving around, and all the reports I'm hearing now from various people, talking to my sister yesterday, talking to our Julie, colleagues from her work, etc. There are more and more people about now driving around, not on the tubes, not on the buses, because the enclosed spaces and being around other people have been put off by that, and maybe that's something for the future. But they're thinking, I can get in my car and I can drive. If you've got a car and you're able to do that, there's far more cars driving around here, and there's far more people around generally in cars than there were. So that's a worry, and I think that was mentioned in the government press conference yesterday. So hopefully a shorter video today, but I'd just like a bit of certainty really with this, because we don't know where we are. It's not going to make any difference to me particularly, but it will make a lot of difference to other people, because if you have got things booked because of all this insurance and all that, because, well, the government haven't said that we can't go, or so we won't give you your money back. It's not technically cancelled until they say this lockdown is now extended to the 1st of June or whatever it is. It's all that uncertainty, and we don't need uncertainty when we've got all these other things hanging over our heads. And all the other trials and tribulations that we've got going on at the moment. So I doubt very much whether we're going to see any lessening of the restrictions as yet. I know they're starting that in Europe, as I said, but even that's tentative steps, and they're still, as I've mentioned before, bringing it up to pretty much where we are now. So I'm expecting another 3-week delay, but I'd just like to know that it is going to be a 3-week delay before it happens, if you see what I mean. So maybe tonight will be the day that they do it. But last time they didn't tell us to a couple of days later. Anyway, rant, as they say, over. So stay strong, stay safe, stay at home, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Lockdown or no lockdown.